Hello.
Hi.
Claire and I wanted to do a quick little instructional video on the new Interlinks collection because it's so versatile. I think we want to make sure that you are fully understanding kind of how to mix and match and do all the fun things that are involved as a part of it. So thanks for tuning in. Claire, what should we tackle first?
Well, I think, Gina, probably the basics of how the interlinks work. So I think if we start with the starter bracelet and just how that works and what's involved in that. So the starter bracelet, you have 18 links, which is made up of 2 plain oval links and 1 triggerless clasp. So you've got sort of sections of 3 links. So that's the triggerless clasp. And then next to that, you have 2 solid oval links. So that's what you call sort of a section. And you can actually buy that section separately as well if you want to make your bracelet longer. So the whole reason why it's so versatile is that every 3rd link is that triggerless clasp so that you can actually unhook and add pieces, whether it's charms or birthstones or whatever you want to link onto those triggerless clasps. But also this is where you actually can take out those 2 oval links and add other pieces into it. So you're going to show
yeah, why don't so I've taken out, I've just separated because I want to do it like in the middle. So I've taken this apart, removed a solid thing from the triggerless clasp. I'm going to add in now an infinity link because I want to add some more texture or color or whatever it is. But here's the thing, I just added in 2 solid links. So I'm going to come over to where I took things out and I'm just going to remove 2 solid links, right? Since I just added 2 in, I can remove 2. And then I'm going to, so now I have a triggerless clasp on the end and I can just clasp that in.
So the textured link with the oval link is exactly the same length as 2 of the oval plain rings. So all you're doing is replacing one with the other and you still got the same length of bracelet. Yeah. So if you wanted to, you could sort of have a whole sort of the combination where we were talking about mixed metals. So you could have the yellow gold version, the rose gold version, and you could interchange or alternate those along that whole bracelet. But all you're doing is replacing those textured links with the plain oval links. And that's why it's so versatile, but they're the same length. So, you know, you just remove the double link and then add in the textured link.
But sorry, speaking of those double links and it being the same size. So this is the 2 solid links that I took out. So when you go to add in a foundation, a recessed foundation, even if it's just the original recessed foundation, you're just replacing the length that was those 2 links with a recessed foundation. Correct, Claire?
Correct. And the only variance happens when you're adding the statement one, because of course that's sort of longer than the original version. So you probably need to just play around with your length, and it depends on your wrist size. So, you know, it might be that you work out whether you want to wear your bracelet quite tight or a little bit looser. Find out what length you want, and then you can work out how many links you need to remove, whether it's sort of just 2 double rings, it might be 4 of those, and that will then take the space when you put in the statement setting into that bracelet.
Yeah, so when you get the bracelet, the starter bracelet, it's got a triggerless clasp on one side and solid links on the other, because if you're just going to wear it normal, right, then you would just snap it in that way. But since I'm wanting to add a recessed foundation to it, what I'm going to do is come over here to the solid clasp side and I'm going to remove 2. Remove these bottom 2. I need to get better. Now I've got a triggerless clasp on this side and a triggerless clasp on this side. Both sides are ending in triggerless clasps. So when I'm ready to put this on now, I can just, so I slid that over. I'm going to bring this triggerless clasp around, and I'm going to put it on. Let me find the word opens.
So now you've got sort of your complete bracelet with your original recess setting fitting in the middle. Now, and then you will have a triggerless clasp at the back of that bracelet that you can now open up to actually get the bracelet on. So this is also where the link toggle comes in. And you have, because you've got the triggerless clasp at one end, you can now hook that on to that triggerless clasp on the end. And
so
then
I've added that.
And then the ring the other side will then be the ring part of your toggle fitting.
There's the ring on the other side. Put the toggle through, and now if you wanted it to be you know what I mean, go on using a toggle, you can do it that way.
So there's your toggle bracelet.
Yeah. So I think the key is to honestly, Claire, is figure out the length that you want, and you can kind of say, okay, I want this many links, and then you can kind of mix and match and figure out exactly what it is that you're wanting to do. But there's a couple other things that I wanted to just share. So because we've got all of these triggerless clasps, every third one is opens, you now have the ability to add, we've got the little accents, Claire, and we've got also charms in all the different foundation series. So whether it's Allure, let me put Dot Vision on. Okay, so we've got Allure, we've got Firenze, and Forged. Plus we have the recessed setting ones. So you can add each location that it opens up that you've got a triggerless clasp is a place that you can customize if you want to. You can leave it plain, but you could add the birthstone accents if you want to, or you could add the charms that are going to match maybe what you're wearing. You know, if you're wearing the Firenze necklace and you want to add a little touch of Firenze, you can with the Interlinks bracelet. So then if you're layering up, let's say the Interlinks bracelet with the new Firenze bracelet, you've brought like a piece of the Firenze bracelet over onto your Interlinks, so they totally look like they were made to go together. So,
and also I had been sort of looking graphically at how sort of we could work and give you some ideas. So sort of I had done used the infinity link and in gold, so I had added that into the bracelet, but then hooked on that same, where I'd hooked in the infinity link, I had then hooked in the Firenze charm onto that then brought through the gold colour, so that you had sort of the silver gold mix there.
That's awesome.
And then the other idea I had, which if you like sort of a bracelet that's got lots of pieces hanging off it, I then added our chain tassels, sort of just to where the recess setting was. So I hooked those on, so you've got a bit of movement there with the tassels hanging off. So it's so versatile, you know, and it's worth just sort of sitting down and playing around with it and adding bits and pieces onto it, so that you know, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
That you can do.
So that you guys are aware as you're kind of laying things out, we gave the length of the bracelet, but each individual link is a little over a half an inch. So that should, like, what you may want to do is, if somebody's wanting one, is have them measure their wrist and tell you what the length is, and then that will allow you to say, okay, if, you know, like my wrist is, I probably would want 6.5 inches, so that it's got a little bit of play to it, 6.5 or 7 inches. So then I could say, okay, so I know that for me, I need that to have 12 or 13 links. Well, 13 is not like if they're every 3 links, right? I'm going to have to, if I want it to have a little bit of looseness, I can just add another triggerless clasp so that it goes maybe, triggerless clasp, and then it starts it has the 2 solid ones. So that's the thing about having where you can buy just a single triggerless clasp, is you literally can make it fit exactly how you want it to fit, whether it's a little tighter, a little looser. We all have different size wrists. Like, we come in all sorts of different sizes. So I think that what's going to happen most of the time is that as people start adding elements, Claire, they end up with extra little bits.
Yes.
Because they've replaced them. I think that it's because I think that most people are probably going to want to add and be able to add a dot to it as well. But you'll notice in the catalog and in some of the close-ups that what we've done is we took one that had a recessed setting, and then we layered it up with just a solid one, just a plain chain. And so it almost gives, right, because I'm all about layering. I'm all,
yes. And actually it looks as though you've wrapped them.
Yeah.
So it looks like a wrap bracelet. We had various comments of people saying, is that a different one? Have you not released that yet? But it was just that it was 2, and it's just how versatile and how they look so different with the recessed setting set in there and sort of layering it up. So I think it's just very much worth sort of playing around and sort of using those combinations. And I know you're going to have and also I think possibly buying extra of those clasps and the extender section so that you've got all the possibilities. Because there are going to be times where you actually just want to have this sort of plain classic charm bracelet and not have the recess setting, or just have all the charms hanging off. But then you decide, okay, well, I'm going to wear it a bit tighter and have the statement fitting in there as well. So again, you want to interchange to be able to do all of that. So it's good to have those extra pieces on hand so that you can play around with the size and the fit of them.
Yeah. And then I think that one of the other things, Claire, that I think that we're going to probably start to see is the versatility. Like, this is one of our oval loops, but the versatility with all of the accents and charms that we've created, and even some of the little links, like how you can add those to any of our hoop earrings. So we've got the accents that you can add, and you could totally layer this up. So you could put the regular recess setting behind it, add a little crystal in front of it. You could do the crystal in the front and the tassel in the back, the little accent in the front. So there's so much versatility, but I love the fact that on the charms, the Allure, the Firenze, and the Forged, you've actually done it in a way that when you put it on, if you want to add that little element to your earring, it faces forward.
Yeah. So, and that was done on purpose, because we didn't want to sort of have to produce sort of the same charm but 2 versions of it. And because on the charm bracelet, because of it's got a double ring there, so it's got 2 rings on the charm bracelet, when you hook it onto that triggerless clasp, it's moving about anyway, so it sort of sits and moves and dangles. But what we wanted to make sure is that when it's sat on your hoop earrings, it actually is facing the right way. So it was sort of a considered thing to make sure that it fitted the right way and sat the right way.
But I love how it allows you to then take a simple pair of hoop earrings and, again, now tie it into the Forged collection, tie it into the Firenze collection. So it gives you so much versatility in, what you can have. Honestly, I feel like everybody should just automatically have as a part of their wardrobe the hoop earrings, hello, and the new interlinks. Plus the interlinks, like, look at how nice they sit with.
Yeah, looks really good.
Yeah, with the regular classic link necklace.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I'm excited to see, because you know how creative our boutique partners are, all the different things that they come out with. when it
And
comes.
again, you know, as we've said, you know, lots of sort of selfies, because it's great for us to see that. And you never know, you might get featured in one of our email series that we're doing, because we love sharing the love. And, you know, and I think sort of to give other people ideas is brilliant. You know, somebody can come up with a great idea that we can actually share with others. So we are in the process of producing sort of a flyer, just to explain how the whole concept works, and plus give you a few ideas of sort of how combinations can work and what you can put together. So that will be available soon.
Yay. Well, keep the photos coming, keep the selfies coming. We want to see all the different fun things that you do with the new Interlinks bracelet. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.